Welcome to the weightlifting platform, where our hearts are heavier than those experimental 50-kilo plates I keep hearing about. More in the news. The weightlifting platform is brought to you by the Panamerican Weightlifting Federation. I'm your host, Richard Mason. On this week's show, we'll head off to Iceland to meet an athlete who is back on the world platform after about a 4-year absence with her first IWF meet in a long time. For our tip of the week, we'll head to Eastern Europe to learn about patience and perseverance from a Polish lifter. And for our regular feature Good to Know, another weightlifting Olympian, but Tokyo was months ago. First, here are the headlines. The world of weightlifting is 2 weightlifters smaller this week, but they are big losses felt on different parts of the globe. Yuri Vlasov died this week in Russia. To say he led an extraordinary life would be an understatement, and it all started with great success in the weightlifting world. Born in 1935 in then Ukraine of then the Soviet Union, Vlasov took an interest in weightlifting at the Air Force Academy in the mid-1950s. He rose to prominence at the Soviet Championships as a 90-plus kilo athlete. From 1959 to 1963, he was unbeatable. He won gold at the Olympics in Rome in 1960. He set 3 world records there and became the first person to clean and jerk over 200 kilos. He won Europeans and Worlds in 59, 61, 62, and 63, and took silver in 1964 at the Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. Vlasov wasn't just strong, though. His influence was felt elsewhere as well. He was the president of Soviet weightlifting and Soviet bodybuilding. He had been elected to parliament. He even ran for president of Russia. He was a published author with over 15 novels, many of them translated worldwide. It's a super heavyweight loss. Vlasov died this week of natural causes in Moscow. He was 85 years old. Now in the United States, a coach and Olympian passed this week. Oscar Chaplin III, known as Diamond, was the junior world champ in the 77 kilo category back in 2000. He represented the US at the Olympics in Sydney in 2000 and in Athens in 2004. After his retirement, Chaplin dedicated himself to coaching the next generation. He died at his home in Savannah, Georgia this week. He was just 41 years old. Now, good to know. Sylvia Hoffman is the latest weightlifter to become an Olympian. What? How does that work? It's the middle of winter. Hoffman from Shreveport, Louisiana, lifted at University World Championships in 2012 and at the Universiads in weightlifting in 2013 and 2017 as either a 69 or a 75 kilo athlete, depending on the meet. But that didn't make her an Olympian. But when she discovered her power and speed were assets in other sports, she transitioned to bobsleigh, and she makes her Olympics debut in Beijing in 2022. Now time to talk. When Katla Ketilsdottir took to the stage in Tashkent at the World Championships late last year, it was her first international meet in a long time. Her last appearance was 4 years before, but when you're 20 years old, that is a big chunk of time. The Icelander now joins us to talk about her beginnings, what she did in the gap, and what she has planned for the next 4 years and beyond. Welcome to the weightlifting platform, Katla.
Hi, thank you.
Now tell me, how were you first exposed to weightlifting? How did you first find yourself with a barbell in your hands?
Like a lot of us, I started in CrossFit. And really shortly, or like shortly after that, I found out I didn't like the running part of CrossFit and the cardio. So I picked up weightlifting and started competing and fell in love with competing in weightlifting.
Fantastic. Now, you started competing back in 2016. That seems to be a long time ago for somebody of your age. Domestically, you started. What's the weightlifting scene like in Iceland?
It's really good. We have a lot of opportunity to compete a lot. So we have a lot of meets that we can practice on before we go on the big stage. So it's been helping us a lot.
Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about the big stage. After a handful of meets in Iceland in 2016, you ventured off to European youths for the first time. I think that's the first time I can find where you competed outside of Iceland. You placed fifth in a 165 total. It was in Kosovo. What was that
Yeah.
experience like, first off, going to outside of Iceland, going to Kosovo, and are you happy with what happened on the platform?
Yeah, I don't think I have any competition in my career that I'm not happy about. I think that if something happens on the platform, it's a learning opportunity. So not yet I have any that I'm not happy about. But yes, that was a really fun one. I was a lot of differences. I was young, learning a lot. Yeah, this is one of my really good memories. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, not long after that, we've got some video of you. Right now, it's Denmark, but just before that, it was you lifting in Bangkok. Now, that was, I think, your next international meet in 2017. You lifted as a 58. You lifted 152. Is that going to be something that we
Yeah.
see during your career, where you're kind of a weight class, but you're kind of another weight class? Is that going to be consistent? Do you think?
That was really a learning curve when I went down a weight class that I'm really thankful for. That I learned that how it's done and how it's not supposed to be done. Everything that comes with cutting weight. So that's I was a really fun one. But yeah, I think so. I don't know what the future holds. So probably, especially now for the Olympics, if I like that's my dream, then if I will have to cut weight for that, then I will probably do so. Or gain weight.
Now, I've never been to
We haven't
Reykjavik.
decided on anything.
Oh, sorry.
So no
Now, I've
worries.
never been to Reykjavik, but I have been to Bangkok. And I would think that that was probably the most interesting cultural experience. Such a big gap. It's a big gap in language. It's a big gap in temperature. It's just an interesting experience for you.
Yes, and especially being blonde there. Blonde girl with muscles. That's that was yeah, a lot of pictures and a lot of people touching you.
Oh my goodness, that didn't happen to me in Bangkok, but I'm not blonde. Now tell me,
But they were
you
all
I saw
really
your
nice.
results.
Yes, I want to.
Oh, good. That's
They were
definitely good
really
news.
really nice.
Now, I look here, and although you didn't compete internationally, you still competed domestically in 2018. You still competed domestically in 2019, but nothing internationally. Why the gap? Why did you stay at home? I guess is the best question to ask.
Yeah, I've been training my whole life. I started as a gymnast, started really young with long training, and I never had the opportunity of just being a kid. So then then from gymnastic I did CrossFit, from CrossFit then came weightlifting. So, and I kind of wanted just to be in school, get a little bit opportunity of just being a kid in school, not with the whole athlete aspect of that. And kind of just wanted to feel that I wanted it again because the feeling of wanting it to train was getting away. I didn't want things. So yeah, if it makes sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. That's one thing about weightlifting is the training for weightlifting is the hardest work that other athletes will do. So if you're a soccer player, the hardest thing you'll do is the weightlifting training. If you're any other athlete, this is the hardest work, and athletes like you do it all the time. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Now, you started to ramp back up in 2020. Does that mean, easily said, that you started to feel like you wanted it again?
Yeah, that's about the time I just felt like I needed to to do this again. This is what my passion is. This is what my dream is, and I can't. It just something clicked, and I just wanted to get after it. I just needed a little mental break and work on myself, and just finish. I think I was in high school or something. Finished that. I think that I don't know what's it in your school systems, but I think it's high
Yeah.
school. And then after that, I was just like, yes, it's time. And I've been all in since then.
Fantastic. Now, Senior Worlds. This is your first Senior Worlds.
Yeah.
It was in Tashkent. You're seeing not just your weight class and not just your age class, but you're seeing all of the best athletes in the world from around the world. What was that experience like for you? First off, going to Tashkent. Second off, being in sessions with world record holders and running into Olympians in the hallway at the hotel.
That was really fun. I felt like a little kid being next to them. It was just like all persons you've been looking up to in a long time in one room. It was amazing, and being able to be competing alongside a lot of them. So yeah, that's when I fainted. If you see it.
Oh, yeah. Just did the bar just caught you across the
That
neck in the
was,
wrong spot? Is that what happened, or?
I think, yes, that's just, yeah. And then I just felt, it was just like 1 second you feel like, okay, I either have to go for it or just drop it. And if you go for it, there's like a 50-50 chance that if you're gonna make it and then just really quick standing up, or that this is gonna happen. So that, yeah, just felt dizzy, but
what
in and
amazes
out.
what amazes me is it looks so dramatic, but it is literally so temporary that if you put an athlete on a 60-second clock, they can come back out and lift like it never happened.
Yeah, this is just 1 second, 2 seconds, you fall down, then takes few seconds to stand up, and then you're good. It's,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Now, you're just in your early 20s, but you've also taken on a fairly pivotal role with the European Weightlifting Federation and their Athletes Commission. Tell me about this. Tell me about
The Nordic.
this new job that you've taken on. Yes, the Nordic
It's the
Weightlifting
Nordic,
Federation.
yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
No
So there's
worries.
5 countries. There's 10 athletes who are on the commission.
Yes, so I'm the chair of that committee, and Ina is the vice chair. So we have a social media admin, and then we also have a secretary. So it's been a really fun. We had our first meeting this weekend. This is amazing. It's amazing group that it came together. We work really well together, and I'm really excited for the future. And yeah, it's really fun.
What issues do you think? What issues is I guess on the agenda? What would you like to see come out of this? That you can grab the Nordic Weightlifting Federation and go, okay, this is what the athletes want.
I think that the things we've been talking about a lot, it's modernizing weightlifting and make it more presentable, and how we can make it more viewer friendly, but still hold the core of weightlifting and not missing everything, because we still like our sport and how it's done, but we just want to make it better, and that we can help our sport to be better. I think we can have a lot of say in it.
Now, what's next for you as an athlete? You alluded to Paris possibly as the next goal, the next big goal. But what's on the road between here and Paris?
The Icelandic Championships are next, and then after that there are the Europeans. So that's the 2 competitions that are set in stone, I think, that are I want to do. And then the next is just what comes next. We haven't quite decided what happens after that.
Sorry for the laugh. The video that they brought up was of you in the training hall in Tashkent, and it was so slow that it looked like an old school press. It was almost like you were going for an old school press there. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Listen, you've answered all the hard questions, but now we're going to find out a little bit more about you as we put you on the clock next.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we got 60 seconds. I have a mess of questions. I'm going to read them as fast as you can, and I want the first thing that comes to your mind. There's no right or wrong answers. Well, maybe not. We'll find out. Are you ready? We'll put you on the clock. In 3,
Yes.
2, 1. When I think of Iceland, I think thermal generated power and the highest literacy rate in the world. What's your favorite book?
The Midnight Librarian. I'm reading. I think it's called that. I'm reading it now.
Okay.
It's a really good one.
I also think of CrossFitters. Do you have a favorite CrossFitter?
Sarah Sylvia.
Favorite weightlifter?
Maddie Rogers.
There you go. I see you lifted at the Reykjavik International Games a few times. Name 2 other countries that participate.
I think Finland. Some of the Scandinavians. Finland's or the Norwegian ones. I'm not quite sure.
Okay. I don't know either. Are your parents athletes?
No. My mom used to do skiing,
Okay.
but no.
Okay. We ran out of time. I didn't even get to ask you the best song of any Icelander of all time. You can think about that for the next time we talk.
Like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time. Take care. Tip of the week
You too.
is next. Polish lifter Monika Marak shares her experiences in our tip of the week, reaching a high level, and it includes 2 keywords, patience and perseverance, on our tip of the week.
Cześć, nazywam się Monika Marach. Jestem reprezentantką Polski w podnoszeniu ciężarów. Na swoim koncie mam już rekordy Europy. Jestem srebrną medalistką Mistrzostw Świata i 4-krotną medalistką Mistrzostw Europy. Wiecie, jak do tego doszłam? Dzięki cierpliwości i zaangażowaniu. Bez tego na pewno wiele razy bym już zrezygnowała. Podnoszenie ciężarów trenuję od 8 roku życia, a dopiero w wieku 13 lat miałam swój pierwszy oficjalny start, na który zdobyłam srebrny medal Mistrzostw Europy. Gdyby nie cierpliwość i wiara w siebie, nigdy nie robiłabym tego, co kocham. Oczywiście, że moim celem jest medal Igrzysk Olimpijskich. To chyba największe marzenie każdego sportowca. Jednak wiem, że po drodze czekają mnie jeszcze mniejsze sprawdziany, tak jak Mistrzostwa Europy i Mistrzostwa Świata Seniorów, w których w tym roku będę debiutować. Dążenie do medalu olimpijskiego to wyboista droga. Obozy, wyjazdy, kontuzje, wiele zwątpienia, dużo magnezji i wiele przerzuconych ton na treningu. Ale ja w siebie wierzę i się nie poddaję. A ty? Czego tak naprawdę chcesz w życiu? Walcz i się nie poddawaj.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of the Weightlifting Platform, brought to you by the Panamerican Weightlifting Federation. Like what you see, bookmark us on YouTube. You could also like the IWF on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, IWFNET. I'm Richard Mason. Good lifting.